Welcome to another edition of the glittery bones of advertising. I'm Craig McLeod, and I'm happy to say I've got all three of my friends joining us today. Welcome aboard, guys. Who'd like to say hi first?
I will.
Yay.
Hello. Caroline Hendricks is here.
Boom, boom, boom.
In the house. Caro's in the house.
In the house.
Yeah, I'm here. JD in the house.
Jack Daniels, also known as John Douglas.
You look very gangster with your hoodie on as well. Like it suits you.
Oh, yeah.
In the house.
New hair for JD as well, aka
Well,
my
like
brother.
one of those, like a monk from one of those bloody games.
You look like a marshmallow.
Hey
Only
JD,
a man can,
if you're
like
in
a
a
cute
ute,
marshmallow.
if you're in a ute right now, you could definitely be construed as a tradie with your hat on like that, with your hood. That's how they roll.
It is. But only a man could get away with wearing a white hoodie. Like if Gabs and I wore a white hoodie, it would be orange.
Why, from your spray tan or from
Because
your...
our faces would slide off as we put it on and slide off
Right.
again.
Oh,
There we
I
go.
get it. Yeah, I was confused.
Whereas
about this.
your collar is impeccably clean.
Oh, yes. I was
Like-
getting confused there. I thought you were saying like,
And we
Leave
also
it
have Gabaloo. I'm not sure if you said hi, but hi to you too.
Hi. Thanks for
Hello.
So today, kids, I'd like to talk about something that's it's on the cards for me, or on the radar. My eldest daughter, she's about to start looking at universities. So I'm kind of hyper aware of all of the unis that are around at the moment, and obviously those that are advertising. And a couple piqued my interest of late. And I kind of thought, what's with unis being so kind of techo of late? And when I say techo, it's kind of like, there's a lot going on in their ads, but I thought we'd take a quick peek at a couple and see what you guys thought. What do you think?
Yeah.
Shall we take a look?
let's take a look.
Yeah, let's start with Swinny.
University as we know it is getting an upgrade. Swinburne University's deep industry partnerships give you real industry experience with innovation and creativity in every course, connecting you to your career faster. So, when does the next generation of university arrive? Now. Swinburne, next gen, now.
Okay, so Swinny,
Swinburne.
Yep.
pretty techo, like a whole lot of stuff going on. And I'm not sure that it kind of feels like there's any kind of campus experience. It's all about this stuff you can do outside of the campus. Now, I'm using JD's words here, but it's a lot of stuff that doesn't really involve the place that you go. Now, I went there just to the TAFE, but I went there and there's like a whole shit ton of stuff you can do physically there that was cool as. But
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, what about...
But you can't do that. Like my son, year 12, going into university, hopefully next year. We went to Monash and RMIT the last 2 weekends.
Yep.
And both times they said, we would like you here, but 50% of our students do all of the courses online because they're trying to juggle coursework and work.
Right.
So they, like for instance, we got a family friend who's got whose son's doing commerce at Melbourne, and everything's online. So he's got a
Never turned
full-time
up.
job, and then he does catches up with the lectures because they're all recorded.
Yeah.
So there's no campus experience for him at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the university's fine with that.
I think that's so sad. Like I loved my uni days.
Mm-hmm.
Uni days were the best, but it does make sense logistically of like, you don't have to travel, you're not wasting that time, you're able to work whatever, like do your homework or your coursework during the night, like all this kind of stuff. Yes, that all makes sense. But I think there's such an important component of making new friends and making new connections post your school friends that you get from going to uni or that you get from going to TAFE and interacting with different people and different surroundings, I think is so important. And I think we're all just become kind of these little people in these little bubbles, and we kind of stay in our little bubble, and it's our little safety zone. Like I remember being petrified going to uni for the first time. It was like your first day of school, like no one, you don't know where the toilets are, like But I think that's all character building as well. Like, you're getting out there and you're getting out of your comfort zone. So I think the Swinny ad reflects that new way of thinking of it's just like everything's
Virtual.
just kind of, it's virtual and it's only like a click away, but there's no human aspect. And they show that in their ads as well. It's very kind of cold and clinical, and it's just about this one-way communication with a computer. So yeah, I think it's sad.
Industry experience as well was something that I thought was worth exploring, like looking at how they're really trying to make sure that the experience, if it's going to be online, that they then give you this experience with industry, which I think is super important. Like, obviously they're trying to do that and to push that out to the masses. But, you know, I wonder if that deep industry experience channels and follows on from the university experience, where it may be a virtual experience with these organizations, or whether you actually get to go. So, you know, that really, as I said, piqued my interest on how kids are going to come through this system and, you know, how they come out of that. And I think socially, Caro, they're missing stuff that, you know, that they just shouldn't have to miss. There's so much stuff's already missed already, but.
And that's the thing, like, they've already gone through a few years of missing these kind of, like, we're priming a whole generation to just be quite isolated. And I think that's really sad. Like, I think, you know, and you get into like trouble at uni. Like, there's fun things about it. Do you know what I mean? You go and have your drinks during the day and you meet your friends and you have your uni nights. And there's just
you
so much.
You become more socially confident, I think.
You
like,
do.
And I think we're, like, if you look at can we play the Latrobe one? I think there's some crossover here.
Yeah, let's have a peek at that one too, shall we?
Latrobe University, the place where knowledge finds its purpose. Whether it's being there when you need us the most, or unlocking the secrets in soil to protect future food supplies, even discovering ingenious ways to extend athletes' careers. In health, science, and technology, the impact is real.
I reckon the problem that both of them are facing is that tier 2 universities trying to remind people that their courses are as good as going to Monash or going to
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like, that's the great travesty, I think, for a lot of those second-tier universities, is the curriculum in Australia is set. Like, if you get a university degree from Latrobe, it's just as good theoretically as a degree from any university.
Yep, RMIT or any of the others. Yeah,
because they're all set. They're all. But
what's your thoughts, Gab?
The only thing that's different is the on-campus experience. Sorry, over to you.
Thanks, Teddy. I'm glad we watched them both, because I'm looking at them less from that social aspect and more from the way in which perhaps the insight or what they're trying to bring to the ad. And I felt like, for me, Swinburne, if you took away the whole reference to university and the Swinburne logo, it feels like Apple phone ad or a Samsung phone ad or something like that. And I feel like potentially they're trying to bring that element. Even the track is super slick and sexy, and perhaps they're trying to lure that younger demographic with the type of advertising or the type of sort of messaging and motion graphics that they're used to seeing from those cool you know, products that they like to purchase and things like that. So I think that might have played into it slightly, but I think you're all right as well that there's definitely, I guess, that element of removing that on-campus experience from this form of communication. And I think that's possibly and potentially to do with perhaps this generation has grown up these last few years and developed some social anxieties. So I wonder if they actually did any testing internally to see if that style of communication was actually, I guess, anxiety producing in this generation, or maybe cause them to feel a bit turned off. I'd be interested to know if that was something that they did it. For me as well, like Latrobe, I felt they did it a little bit better because they showed me more of an emotive piece. They showed me where I'm going to end up once I've done a certain degree. Swinburne was really just a tech ad. Like I was perplexed. But there's another one. I'm not sure if you guys have seen The Deacon. It's been going around for a while now. I think they've been in market with it last year as well. The future belongs to the ready. And I think that's a nice amalgamation of the two. It has that tech future focused feel, but it's much more emotive. And the insight and strategy sort of merges those two feelings of next gen, but warm and emotive. So if anyone at home wants to check it out, check that one out, because that would probably be my.
We'll whack a link up to it so that people can watch it as well.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me, that would concern me as a brand manager for all universities, is this, like, if you hide the logo at the end of any of them,
Who is it?
who is it? Like, they're all saying the same thing. You'll be ready to you'll be walking straight into a job. You'll be ready for, it's all about.
I've got some notes here, JD, and you've literally said exactly one of my notes, which was it would be good to see a different tact because it's a sea of sameness, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Like, it's like there must be, like, I remember I looked at that, it was for a girls' college in Melbourne, and for the life of me, it's just gone.
What colour is it? It's a guessing game.
It's shit. And
Halebury.
no.
On Glenira Road.
Glenira Road, just up from Caulfield Grammar. Hopefully we can cut this bit out.
Sacre-Cœur.
No, sure.
No, that's in Glen Iris.
SHE.
I know the one you're talking about.
Anyway, for the life of me, I can remember the ad because it was all about using the SHE from the name. Not Shelby. I was going to say Shelby. It's not Shelby.
Shelford?
Shelford. That's
Yes.
it. Bloody Shelford. See, I remember the ad better than I remember the name of the college, but I would always go looking for it because SHE, they're like, she rules, she rocks, she's ready, she's like, it's all about, and that was branding. It was like, at least if I'm going to look for a girls' school, I know at least one that's going to be on the list. Do you know what I mean? Like this, Monash, Melbourne, Swinburne, Latrobe, Deakin. Like,
Couldn't do that now though, JD, because if you're not a she, if you don't identify as a she, her, you could be in trouble with a campaign that only identifies as she can do that. They can do that. So you might be in trouble with that kind of gear these days.
I saw a great video off topic the other day of someone that was filming. Where were they? They were filming like in an airport or something. And the security came up and was like, you can't film there. You can't film. And the friend was like, oh, she identifies as a camera. And the guy was like, what? And he's like, she identifies as a camera. So she can. And the person was just like, whatever. Like, just keep going. Like, if you're going to play that game. But it's true, though. It's like you could identify as anything now.
Yes, you
remind
can.
me of a tweet I saw the other day. It's Scott Morrison, they, them. Like, just.
Yeah.
I'm leaping ahead.
Speaking of which, let's just go straight to the what the funk happened with our boy ScoMo over the last few years, where he decided he was just going to tip himself in to a few more portfolios, but not even tell anyone, not even Josh, not even like his right hand, not even he knew. Only ScoMo and old Gov Jen knew. That's it. But Gov Jen didn't even go, ScoMo, easy tiger. That's a few too many for you, my boy.
You just got to trust. You got to trust politics, though. They're all there to do the right thing for us. It's all about us. They're helping Australia.
Elbow has got hold of this as well, and he's like a bull terrier. He's not letting go because he believes there's something unjust about it, although it would seem at the moment there is no legality or no legal issue for Scotty having done it. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
For the punters at home, and for those like me who perhaps don't understand the situation too well, can someone explain it to me a little more?
Oh, I'd love to, Gabs. I'd love to. Scott Morrison was Prime Minister, and one of the projects that was going to be approved by the Energy and Resources Minister was a oil rig that was going to be off one of the more glorious beaches in Sydney over the horizon. Well, like you wouldn't be able to see it. It was close enough to maybe cost them boats, especially with the teals coming along. So Scott Morrison had himself made Resources and Energy Minister, but like didn't take over the portfolio, just made himself co-minister so that he could override the existing minister.
Right.
He got that because when the pandemic, they were saying when the pandemic came along, they were going to need to override the health minister's incredible powers to make whatever health related policy and legislation was required to contain the pandemic. So Scott had himself voted in health minister under a level with Greg Hunt, so that if Greg Hunt got out of hand, Scott would be able to hold the reins and drag him in. So Christian Porter allowed that to happen, and the Governor General signed off on that. And then they used that same bit of paper to make him the Resources Minister, the Treasurer, and the Home Affairs Minister.
That's four. There's 5, wasn't there?
Yeah. I think Prime Minister counts as one. I'm not sure. There was a whole lot. Like it was someone's gone on to
Did he get paid extra for holding these positions?
No.
I don't know. I know he got on his Wikipedia page.
Bullshit, of course he did.
Home Affairs Minister. Who was the Prime Minister while he was? He was. Like it was just like it's in the it's
you can't trust anyone that welds without a helmet on.
Wasn't that?
Oh, please put that up right now.
Put the
Karen's
gift
been dying
in here.
to get this in.
It's so good. Oh my God.
But I love that the mask was on first of all.
Yeah.
He's like,
I know,
I
and
can't
he
see
takes
through
it
the
off.
mask. Need to
For
take it
what?
up. Let's go now.
Mate, oh my God. It's clowns. Clown emojis everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like
He was-
it's like
he
the
was Home
time
Affairs
for the
Minister.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you go.
Steady.
No, you go. You guys are
No,
just
you go.
talking
No,
over each other
you
so
hang up
eloquently.
first.
It's
No, you
beautiful.
hang up first.
As you go.
Can we just play that great thing that Hugh Remington sent around from the virus remix, whatever it was?
Yeah.
Let's
Let's have a look.
just.
Morning, everyone. I'm here today because you might recall I used to be the Prime Minister. I had one focus, but I wanted more jobs, and so I gave myself thousands of jobs. I had jobs, and more jobs. From Home Affairs to Health to the ADF to Treasury to a whole range of different parts of government. I had greater power, greater stealth. I was lurking, hiding in plain sight, like a rat in the roof. I wanted to cling on to power using whatever tool or tactic I had available to me, and by building the foundations and pillars of an autocratic and authoritarian regime, eventually I would have taken the jobs of Australians too, one by one, family by family, community by community. I wanted all their wonderful jobs until they were all gone. However, you don't know about the even more extreme forms of control, which I could have had very, very soon. Including a plan to kill large numbers of my ministers and replace them with highly trained, compliant clones who would not threaten my leadership and would always obey. My job was to have them crushed by brutality. And I would be the evil, dark shadow master, king of all the land for a very, very long time, forever into the future.
How do you find all of those words? Have you got like a program that goes through all of the
was
footage you've got
thinking
and
the
finds the
same.
words? Because can you imagine like going through the footage? That'd be like a total head wreck.
I'm going to
Oh.
kill all my ministers and have them replaced by clones. Like
Ah,
just
Oh,
glorious.
God. People have got too much time on their hands.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the Twitterverse just exploded with it yesterday. It was just fantastic. Scott Morrison seen boarding a plane for Hawaii disguised as the entire flight crew. You know,
What were you going to say, Gabs?
What do you mean? What was I going to say? Oh, way earlier.
Yeah, when you and JD were talking over each other.
ScoMo with his mask was like the time during COVID when our Minister for Health didn't know how to put on a mask
oh
during
yes,
a conference.
oh yes, Yeah, I like that when he
Right.
tackled that little kid in
It
the,
like
in
just-
the election for the
Oh,
runner.
how bad.
Yeah, and it's
I-
just like, how strong is this kid? He's just been tackled by the Prime Minister, the Treasurer, the Minister for Health, the Minister for Resources.
And it was no touch footy as well. He just goes and bangs him over. Oh, God. So much goodness. Thank God for the internet, really.
Okay.
Brilliant place.
I feel that's enough about Scotty. He's gone and he needs to be gone. So it's time for us to talk about one of my favorite segments, harmonics. JD has the reins today, so let's see how we go.
I've uncovered, you know, I have these top lists of the best ever, the best advertising campaigns of all time. Here you go. I've got a
Okay.
list.
In whose view, my boy?
I don't know, some random person from HubSpot. So,
Okay, I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to opinion, and
so
we're
it's someone
all
else's
about chopping
opinion
it down.
of the greatest campaigns of all time. I always thought the greatest campaign of all time was Men Wanted for Hazardous Journey. But, you know, let's start at number 5. No, I'm going to start at number 7 because I like number 7. Okay,
You Gabs.
there's just one hint. Think small.
Think small. Volkswagen.
I was going to say not BHP.
No, Pagan Cloud.
Because they're all
think
about
well.
thinking big.
Hey,
Well done. Well done. Let me have a look. Here we go. I can't say it because that would give it away, but a bloke sitting on a couch, African-American chap, sitting on a couch on the phone. What you doing? Sitting on a couch.
What you doing?
What you doing?
What you doing?
Is
I'll give you a hint.
that
oh yeah.
Well done.
it? Yes.
What
Good job,
was
Poddle.
that for? What brand was that for?
It was for Budweiser.
What's that?
What you doing? What you doing? Sit on the couch having a bud, and then the phone, and then the doorbell rings, and he
Right.
answers the doorbell. He goes, "What the?"
Your face when you do it's outrageous.
I love
JD.
it. I thought
I
that
reckon we
was-
make that full screen just for a second. When you go,
"What the?" A series of posters that ran for about 25 years that used the shape of the bottle to highlight.
Corona.
Tomato
Heineken.
soup.
No.
Tomato sauce. Heinz.
What did you say, Craig?
Heineken.
No, shape of the bottle to highlight iconic, usually American.
Johnny
Places.
Walker.
Absolute vodka.
What was that?
Johnny Walker.
No, what was the vodka?
Absolute vodka.
That's it. Oh,
Yes. I used to
Absolute
love those,
Paris,
Dad.
Absolute Brooklyn, Absolute.
Yeah.
Oh, Birdie.
They were
Well done.
brilliant. I had one
Well
on the
done.
front of my diary at school.
Of course
I
you
was
did.
fueled.
Of course you did. I reckon you guzzle a fair bit of it in your time too.
Glug, 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 glug.
Okay. The second most successful campaign of all time. I'm
Apple.
going to give you the name of the brand. I am.
Red
Just gonna give you
crayon.
the name of the brand
Apple.
straight up. I want you to tell me which of their multitude of campaigns has been voted by someone with an opinion as the second most successful campaign of all time.
I'm a Mac on my
Coca-Cola.
PC.
Coca-Cola.
Santa Claus.
Coke, the one with the
Oh.
label. Share it with.
Yes, well done, Gabs. Share a Coke.
Ah, good
Oh,
job.
Gabaloo.
Sold-
Go, you good
Sold
thing.
more Coke from people who weren't going to drink the Coke
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
right.
Who
any
doesn't want a
other
bottle
drink
with your name on it?
ever.
Brilliant. That was bloody brilliant, wasn't it?
It was.
It was
He
good.
just like,
it was
so
really
clever.
good, wasn't it?
I remember buying it because my son's name is a little unusual, but there was even a Massimo.
Yeah.
I remember
boy had a bloody Coke
buying
bottle.
it for people that I wouldn't buy a Coke for because
Yeah.
I'd see their name and be like, I could buy that for blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah.
Who thought of
Yeah.
doing a Massimo?
Brilliant.
we should have just given Coca-Cola $1 billion and told them to stop. But anyway. Okay. Now, I'm not even going to give you the name. I'm going to give you no hints at all.
Okay.
I just want you to tell me the greatest, most successful advertising campaign of all time.
Apple,
Old
No.
Spice.
No.
Budweiser.
Can you give us a category?
McDonald's.
If I gave you a category, I would be giving you.
Can you give us like a colour or something then?
No, I don't think I'm even going to give you a colour.
Okay, country, JD. Is it based in the States or Australia?
Based in the States, yes.
The States.
Yes, very American centric, this whole piece.
Tide, American washing powder, Tide.
No, that was Tide was in English piece.
Is it
American.
a takeaway food brand? Like
No,
Not like a Starbucks or something. American
Okay.
brand. Is it a car like
Pepsi?
Chrysler or something?
no,
No,
it's not
Pepsi?
it's not a drink. It's not,
Not
a
a drink?
food. It's not a car.
I think food car. Is it technology?
American
Is it
Airlines.
No, not technology. It's something
Hertz?
fashiony. There you go, fashion,
Fashiony.
fashiony, but not fashion
H&M?
necessarily.
No, that's not American.
What's your favourite category in the world, Craig McLeod?
Oh, Amazon.
No, no,
Favorite category in the world? Cars.
But- no. What do you like buying more than
Shoes.
anything
Nike.
else?
Shoes.
Adidas.
Well done.
Nike. Gabaloo.
What
Which
was
one,
the
JD? Was it? Which
campaign?
one? Just do it.
Nike, just do it.
Ah, of course it was.
Ah,
Of
yeah.
course. I just topped up with a couple of pairs yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I clearly need more.
Did just do it get you across the line for that? Or?
Pretty much, yeah. And all it was it's the Air Max is my go-to at the moment, but there are a few for sale. But all they did was put in a bit of stitching in like crazy colours on a light blue pair, and I'm like, yep, done, sold. Give them to me. Give them to me right now.
They've done you might be, Noel's like a big Adidas boy, but he crossed over to Nike the other day. They're doing like their vintage high tops in suede, but like the low profile ones,
Ooh.
they're a good looking shoe.
Right.
Insert
Private
link
idea.
here.
Yeah, insert link to a picture here.
Yeah.
Well,
and they're doing
JD.
all
sponsorship,
sorts of colours
for
and stuff.
sponsorship possibilities, please contact Craig McLeod at
Brilliant.
redcloud.com.au.
Brilliant. That was an exceptional harmonics. Well played. Well done
Thank you very
to
much.
the ladies. I think that you might find that it was Gabs or my good self that are the equal winners there today. Who knows?
I'll let you
Caro,
judge.
Yeah,
Simon.
I wasn't even in it. I wasn't even close.
Yeah, well, let's
sorry,
be
I
honest,
was reading
the first-
emails.
The first few were questions
busy, I've
from
got
well
shit to
before
do.
you two were born, so probably likely that you weren't going to get them. Okay, so
That's really nice of you, Craig, to make us feel better about ourselves.
Yeah. That would
that's
make
another.
that would make the girls 12.
Craig's trying to sign off, and we're
That's
all
another edition of the
interrupting
Bonds
him.
Advertising. Don't go changing. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye.